kasipya gikan sa Bulawanong probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Z Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw. Siguradong kuyaw.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Tingog Party List, Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply,
Mabanglo Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply,
DB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, Re-Ing Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Bertodazo,
Apex Mining Company Incorporated,
and Icon Builders and Supply. Z Radio 88.5 FM in partnership with the DepEd Division Office of Davao de Oro presents the Radyo Z-Eskwela program, a radio-based instruction that will cater learners in the entire province of Davao de Oro. Division Executive Committee headed by the Schools Division Superintendent Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Feby K. L. Refamonte, CPA, Curriculum Implementation Division Chief Dr. Josie T. Bolufer, and School Governance and Operations Division Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Karina S. Frasco, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinuti, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Fabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Girly Ringo, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee for Production and Communications: Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judelan T. U, Donna D. T. Bolufer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Irene Leia C. Mangohon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team: Christian Anjara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoto, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Glee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon. Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular, di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin saan patungo, ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo. Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang
panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat sabay-sabay, pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangan mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Let's go! Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Today's reflection, Kings chapter 1, verse 10. If I am a man of God, may fire come down from heaven. Andrew lives in a country that's close to the gospel. When I asked how he keeps his faith a secret, he said he doesn't. He wears a button that advertises his church, and whenever he's arrested, he tells the police that they need Jesus too. Andrew has courage because he knows who's on his side. Elijah refused to be intimidated. even when the king of Israel sent 50 soldiers to arrest him. The prophet knew God was with him, and he called down fire that consumed the platoon. The king sent more soldiers, and Elijah did it again. The king sent more, but the third platoon had heard about the others. The captain begged Elijah to spare his soldiers' lives. They were more afraid of him than had ever been of them. So the angel of the Lord told Elijah it was safe to go with them. Jesus doesn't want us to call down fire on our enemies. When the disciples asked if they could call down fire on a Samaritan village, Jesus rebuked them. We're living in a different time, but Jesus does want us to have Elijah's boldness, to be ready to tell everyone about the Savior who died for them. It may seem like one person taking on 50, but it's actually 1 on 50. Jesus provides what we need to courageously love and reach out to others.
May pagluban, yuta mong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmaon. Di paligong sa bayanihan, iumol sa panag-iusa. Sa tinuang may mabeya at sa pagtinabangan may kalamluan. Gikan sa bubuhan, Davao de Oro, tuburan sa paglao. Sa Davao inyong mahuswagon, ang kaanyang mong makabibihan, talag sa una sa kahitasan. Kamukiran sa lumati alimahan, bunga sa kalagayan. May bulawang may pagluban, yuta mong nagmadagayaon, mga anak mong mahigugmaon. Ipalibong sa bayanihan, iumol sa panag-iusa. Sa timumang may mapeya at sa pagpinabangan may kalamluan. Among kabulahanan, Davao de Oro, mapulawanong paraiso. Sa nag-iusang Davaoenyo, ang kaanyang makabibihan, talag sa ongga sa sangkahitasan. Kabukiran sa lumagi alimahan, bunga sa kalagayan. Davao de Oro, kami mo nagagitan among kabulahanan. Davao de Oro, mapulawanong paraiso. Sa nag-iusang Davaoenyo, Davao de Oro,
Yes, one beautiful Saturday morning mga ka-eskwela, and welcome to Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya, only here na 88.5 FM, Z-Radio, siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. Yes po, you heard it right. Ako po ang makakasama ninyo ngayong araw ng Sabado mula alas 10 ng umaga hanggang alas 12 po ng tanghali. And in case po hinahanap niyo po si Teacher JL, opo, yes, makakasama niyo po si Teacher JL mamaya-maya alas 12 ng tanghali hanggang alas 2 po ng hapon. Kaya ngayong umagang ito, tayo muna po ang magkakasama. Yes, and please sa ating lahat ng mga ka-eskwela dyan na nakikinig at nakatune in sa atin ngayon, mayroon po tayong Facebook Live at 88.5 and DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro and Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro. Ngayon po ay araw ng Sabado, January 30, 2021. Kumusta naman po ang mga weather natin dyan? And I heard na may mga ibang parte ng Davao de Oro ngayon na nakakaranas ng power interruption. So, don't worry dahil you can still reach me through 0953-211-3492. Again, that's 0953-211-3492. Just in case meron po kayo mga questions, mga greetings o ipapabate sa ating mga ka-eskwela. And ma'am, paano yan? Wala kaming kuryente nga. Tapos hindi kami makakapanood ng mga lessons natin today. Please do not worry mga ka-eskwela dahil meron tayong YouTube channel managed by Sir William Ranara. At please do not forget, yan po ay Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. Again, that's Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. So please do not forget to like and subscribe our videos. Opo, nandun po lahat ng lesson presentation natin. Yes, today is Saturday, January 30, 2021 at magkakasama po tayo at lahat ng mga teachers natin sa TVL. Oo, cookery, i-represent po natin yan maya-maya lamang. So, yun po yung gagawin ninyo to reach us here in Radyo Z-Eskwela. Siguradong masaya. Okay ba tayo dyan mga ka-eskwela? Yes, sa first hour po natin from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. makakasama natin si Sir Michael J. Leones, Teacher 1 from Compostela National High School, at pag-uusapan natin ang TVL Cookery Storing Appetizer. At pagkatapos from 11 to 12 noon, pag-uusapan naman natin ang Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing in Electronics na ibabahagi sa atin ni Sir Brian G. Panindim, Teacher 1 from Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. Yes, from 12 to 1 p.m., si Teacher JL na po ang makakasama nyo mga ka-eskwela at pag-uusapan nyo sa Agri-Fishery Arts ang Producing Fermented Plant Juice. Ibabahagi sa atin yan ni Ma'am Cherise May A. Asuncion, Teacher 1 from San Miguel National High School. And for the last hour po ng ating segment ngayong araw na ito, TVL Computer System Servicing, Install Operating System and Drivers in Skills Demo 2. Ibabahagi sa atin yan ni Sir R.G. Belandres, Teacher 1 from Kamanlangan National High School. So I hope po na nakatutok sa atin lahat ng ating mga ka-eskwela ngayong umagang ito, lalong-lalo na sa mga learners natin sa TVL. Give it a check mga ka-eskwela, it's 10:28 already in the morning, alas 10:28 na sa buntag, oras sa Tudkanato, sa Maverick Builders Incorporated and Mackenzie Builders. Kaya hindi na tayo magpapatumpik-tumpik pa. Kasama ko ngayon sa aking kaliwa ay kanan si Sir William. Oo, kami lang dalawa ngayon. So Sir Yam, hindi na natin to patatagalin pa at simulan na natin ang ating leksyon ngayong umaga. Make your Saturday SKILLciting and productive as our teachers in TVL share their expertise on the following topics. Kaya, mga ka-eskwela, ano pang hinihintay natin? Tara na, magklase na ta!
One, two, three, let's go!
Ensuring quality education is one of the most important things that we can do for future generations. Nelson Mandela said, without education, your children can never really meet the challenges they face. So it is vital to educate children and explain that they should play the role of their country. As educators, learners, and parents, we are experiencing a huge change and uncertainties due to this pandemic. However, the importance of education remains consistent. A pleasant day, Davao de Oro, to our listeners, and most especially to our dear Kukli learners. Welcome to the wonderful world in School on the Air, where you can learn as you listen on air. I am excited to share something new today and understand that at this moment maybe some of you are enjoying your
1,
2,
3, let's go!
Ensuring quality education is one of the most important things that we can do for future generations. Nelson Mandela said, without education, your children can never really meet the challenges they face. So it is vital to educate children and explain that they should play the role of their country. As educators, learners, and parents, we are experiencing a huge change and uncertainties due to this pandemic. However, the importance of education remains consistent. A pleasant day, Davao de Oro, to our listeners, and most especially to our dear Kukli learners. Welcome to the wonderful world in School on the Air, where you can learn as you listen on air. I am excited to share something new today and understand that at this moment maybe some of you are enjoying your sumptuous lunch, but I know that you are already finished your meal and excited to tune in our program. I am Michael J. Diones from Senior High School Department of Compostela National High School, Division of Davao de Oro, the pride of Region 11. Welcome to our new episode of Learning and Relearning Things. Are you ready, learners? Wow, that's great! We are now in the 10th week in cookery and tackle the learning outcomes number 4, store appetizers. Before we start for our lecture, let me introduce to you our learning objectives. The objectives of today's lessons are: number 1, utilize quality trainings. Number 2, select appropriate container for storing appetizers. Number 3, keep appetizers in appropriate conditions to maintain its freshness, quality, and taste. And number 4, follow workplace safety procedures. Learners, please get your module in cookery and make sure to listen carefully so you can be able to comprehend all the necessary learnings as we continue to explore to the world of cooking. Are you ready? I'm pretty much sure that everyone is ready, and we shall now begin our lesson.
1,
2,
3, let's go!
We will be exploring how to store appetizers. We are going to utilize quality training, select an appropriate container for storing appetizers to keep fresh, quality, and taste with the ordinance of workplace safety procedures. Looking back to our previous lesson, you are going to identify the 4 pictures in presenting appetizers to the customers. What service presented in these pictures? First picture. Wow, you are correct. This is table service. How about this one? Second picture. You are correct again. This is a buffet service. Another picture. Third picture. Awesome! You're right. It is butler service. And the last picture. Congratulations! It is folder and storage. Good job, learners! Let's proceed to our discussion. Storing appetizer is one of the most important activities done after preparing them to maintain freshness and avoid spoilage. This lesson deals with the storage of appetizers using appropriate containers to sustain quality and taste. Storing foods could be done through the following equipment and tools. These are the equipment and tools used in storing appetizers. Refrigerator. The refrigerator is used to keep food cold and cool. It is used for preventing bacterial infections from foods. Most refrigerators or freezers have a special compartment for meat, fruits, and vegetables to keep the moisture content of each type of foods. Cold storage. Cold storage, the process of preventing food by means of refrigeration. Chiller. Chiller, the process of keeping cold foods chilled for service and to reduce the temperature of the food. Containers for appetizers. Containers for appetizers, it is that the storage containers must be clean and durable, impervious to liquids, and must be in a good condition. You can consider these things before choosing appropriate containers. Storage containers must be washable. You must be able to sanitize them for future use. They must be stockable for easier storage, not in use. Did you read the sanitary practices when storing appetizers? Okay, now let's discuss it. In sanitary practices when storing appetizers, you need to remember these standard procedures. Number 1. Handle the food properly to prevent spoilage and contamination. Number 2. Wash utensils and equipment thoroughly. Number 3. Keep off hand to a minimum contact to ingredients and food. Number 4. Keep away from food when you are ill. Number 5. Store food and ingredients properly. And number 6. Safeguard the food during distribution and serving.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
For your activity, we have here a scrambled letter. Write the correct spelling of the scrambled letters and write your answer in your test notebook. For number 1, scrambled letters are R, A, E, T, G, O, R, I, F, E, and R. What word is that? For number 2, L, O, C, D, R, A, G, E, O, S, T. What word is that? Number 3, G, N, and L. What word is that? Number 4. R, E, Z, T, I, A, E, E, and E. What word is that? And number 5. R, E, N, T, A, I, N, O, C. What word is that? Let's check your answer. Number 1. The correct answer is refrigerator. Number 2. The correct answer is cold storage. Number 3. The correct answer is chili. Number 4. The correct answer is appetizer. And number 5. The correct answer is container. Now check and count the number of your correct answers. Write your score in the upper right portion of your test notebook. Good job, learners! You did it! Congratulations! Remember, learners, proper storing of appetizers is very important to maintain freshness and avoid spoilage. At this time, we will have your post-test to assess what you have learned from the lesson today. In your module, there is a post-assessment that we need to answer comprehensively. This is a multiple-choice questions. Read the question carefully, choose the right answer from the given choices, and write the answer in your test notebook. Number 1. It is the process of preventing food by means of refrigeration. A. Chilling. B. Cold storage. C. Refrigeration. And D. Storage. Number 2. To refrigerate to reduce the temperature of the food. A. Chilling. B. Cold storage. C. Refrigeration. And D. Storage. Number 3. It is the process of keeping food cold and cool. A. Chilling. B. Cold storage. C. Refrigeration. And D. Storage. Blunt appetizer is one of the most important activities done after preparing them to maintain freshness and avoid spoilage. A. Cooking. B. Plating. C. Presenting. D. Storing. Number 5. The containers for appetizers must be, except for one. A. Clean. B. Disposable. C. Durable. D. Washable. Now let's check your answers. Number 1. The correct answer is letter B. Number 2. The correct answer is letter A. Number 3. The correct answer is letter C. Number 4. The correct answer is letter D. And number 5. The correct answer is letter D. And now check and count the number of your correct answers. Write your score in the upper right portion of your test notebook. Great job, learners! You did it! Let's have a recap. What are the equipment or tools used in storing for appetizers? Wow! Great job, learners! You are excellent! The equipment or tools used in storing appetizers are refrigerators, cold storage, chiller, and containers for appetizers. And now let's check if you attained our objective. At the end of this episode, you learn on how to utilize quality training. Select an appropriate container for storing appetizers to keep fresh, quality, and taste with accordance of the workplace safety procedures. Well done, everyone! Thank you for tuning in and congratulations, everyone! Please don't forget to submit all your outputs during the scheduled retrievals and distribution of modules. I am very glad that you were with me until this hours. Thank you so much. Once again, this is Michael J. Villanes, leaving you a message from me. Always think you are great, you are amazing, you are a tremendous creator. Stay who you are and be the silver lining of your own future to be a successful human being. Till next time, goodbye!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin, CESO 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riwen Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
Sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan ng katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon. Eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang normal, online learning at modular, di na kailangang face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbaba
sa bawat oras at panahon. Magpakailanman, hangat palagi ng ating paaralan. Ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay, pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangan mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Tatag at tibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salit na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salit na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, sabay-sabayhan na, sabay-sabayhan na.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, ngayong kasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go! Yay!
Yes, we are right back mga kaskwela at natunghayan po natin ang presentation ni Sir Michael J. Leones, Teacher 1 from Compostela National High School. At pinag-usapan natin sa TVL or Technical Vocational and Livelihood in Cookery, Storing Appetizers. So I do hope no ng ating mga kaskwela ay nakuha yung lesson presentation ni Sir Michael J. Leones. And congratulations Sir Michael sa napakagandang presentation niyo po, and thank you very much for sharing your talent to us. And before tayo mag-present sa ating next presentation, babatiin muna natin ang mga tao na napakalaki ng parte ng ating programa para maging mabuti at mahusay ang ating pagtaguyod sa ating education amidst this pandemic. So shout out muna tayo dyan sa ating Schools Division Superintendent, Ma'am Eufemia T. Gamutin, sa pakikinig. Mama, yung pagpaminaw kanimo. And of course, ato ang Assistant Schools Division Superintendent na si Sir Romel R. Handayan. Sir Romel, good morning po at mayong pagpaminaw. And of course, sa ating mga program managers dito sa Radyo Z-Eskwela na sina Ma'am Arlene Lim and Ma'am Noemi Canales. Hello ma'am, maayong pagpaminaw kaninyo, and I do hope maganda po ang Sabado ninyo ngayon. And babatiin natin ang ating mga listeners and viewers na parating nakatutok sa atin dito lang sa Radyo Z-Eskwela. We wanna say hello to our top fan na si Ma'am Edith Laurel. Good morning, Ma'am Edith. Maayong pagpaminaw. To Ma'am Mirna Cagandi Perong, good morning. And to Jane Rojo and Prince Kyle Jake Mapayo. Pa-shoutout daw sa kanila. So sana nakinig kayo sa presentation natin sa ating TVL at patuloy niyo po kaming subaybayan dahil magkakasama pa po tayo hanggang 2:00 po ng hapon. And we wanna say hello to Sir Angelo Gutierrez Jr. Hello baby boy, maayong pagpaminaw kanimo. Yes, so tapos na yung presentation natin for our TVL Cookery. So ngayon, we will be going to present the Agri-Fishery Arts ni Ma'am Charisse May A. Asuncion, Teacher 1 from San Miguel National High School. And we will be talking sa ating Agri-Fishery Arts, ang producing fermented plant juice. So sa lahat ng ating mga TVL learners yan, dyan, I hope na nasa mabuti kayong kalagayan at komportable ang inyong kinauupuan ngayon at nakikinig kayo sa ating programa. And just in case, again, you forget to listen to our lesson for today, huwag kayong mag-alala dahil may YouTube channel tayo mga kaskwela. That's Radyo Z-Eskwela, DDO again. That's Radyo Z-Eskwela, DDO. And naka-live po tayo ngayon sa Z-Radio 88.5, DepEd tayo Division of Davao de Oro, and Radyo Z-Eskwela DepEd Davao de Oro official Facebook pages. And just in case hindi na naman kayo nakapag-online with kahit ang mga daming mga reasons dyan, you can still reach us at 0953-211-3492. Again, that's 0953-211-3492. So please do greet na kayo at tanong-tanong na dahil i-accommodate namin yan lahat. So ngayon, hindi na tayo magpapatumpik-tumpik pa. Kaya, prepare na tayo mga learners dahil make your Saturday SKILLciting and productive as our teachers in TVL share their expertise on the following topics. Kaya, mga learners dyan sa ating TVL Agri-Fishery Arts, ano pang hinihintay natin? Tara na, magklase na ta!
Hello learners! You're still tuning in at 88.5 Z Radio. Siguradong lingaw. Hello learners! You're still tuning in at 88.5 Z Radio. Siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. With the program Radyo Z-Eskwela, kung saan ang pag-aaral ay siguradong masaya. Today, we are going to discuss another informative topic for Agri-Fishery Arts with a specialization on organic agriculture production in situ. Again, I'm your teacher for today, Teacher Charisse from the Haven of Top Performers and Future Leaders, San Miguel National High School. Okay, before we will start, kindly get your learning materials. Prepare your paper and ballpen as well for the different activities. At this moment, let us set our mind first with the following learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, 90% of the learners will be able to: first, locate and identify different raw materials that can be processed as liquid farm inputs. Second, produce liquid farm input, specifically the fermented plant juice or FPJ. And last, appreciate the value of fermented plant juice in organic farming. Kindly open your learning materials on page 4 and answer activity 1. Instruction. Read each question carefully. Select the letter that corresponds to the best answer and write it on your paper. Number 1. Principle of organic agriculture, which aims to maintain a healthy soil, plants, animals, and human, a healthy planet as a whole. A. Principle of health. B. Principle of ecology. C. Principle of fairness. And D. Principle of care. Okay, the correct answer is A. Principle of health. Number 2. This refers to principle of agriculture, which means equity, respect, and justice for all living things. A. Principle of health. B. Principle of ecology. C. Principle of fairness. And D. Principle of care. So the correct answer is letter C. Principle of fairness. Number 3. Organic agriculture should be based on living ecological systems and cycles. Work with them, emulate them, and help sustain them. What principle of organic agriculture is being referred? A. Principle of health. B. Principle of ecology. C. Principle of fairness. And D. Principle of care. The correct answer is very good. Letter B. Principle of ecology. Number 4. Organic agriculture should be managed in a precautionary and responsible manner to protect the health and well-being of current and future generations and the environment. A. Principle of health. B. Principle of ecology. C. Principle of fairness. And D. Principle of care. So the correct answer is yes, the correct answer is letter D. Principle of care. Number 5. It is a combination of various ingredients, usually herbs, spices, condiments, powdery substances or minerals mixed up together, means dissolved or macerated into liquid, so as they can be ingested or drunk? A. Fermented plant juice. B. Fermented fruit juice. C. Concoctions. And D. Fish amino acid. The correct answer is letter C. Concoctions. So how was your score? Congratulations to those who got perfect score. And for those scores which are low, you can evaluate yourself to see which portion of the previous modules you did not understand. In your previous modules, you have learned the 4 principles of agriculture: the principle of health, principle of ecology, principle of fairness, and principle of care. These principles are the roots from which organic agriculture grows and develops. What do you think is the connection between the 4 principles of organic agriculture in producing organic concoctions and extracts? Yes, very good. In order to adhere with these principles, organic farming practitioners practice producing farm liquid inputs or concoctions in replacement for the synthetic inputs commonly used in farms. Let us now discuss the different organic concoctions and extracts. In organic agriculture, we have 8 concoctions involved. Number 1, the fermented plant juice, or popularly known as FPJ. The concoction that is best for plants and best for microbes too. This concoction is obtained from extract of different plant materials and fermented for 7 days. The second concoction is the fermented fruit juice, or the FFJ. This is known as the Power Pack Health Drink. This concoction, or FFJ, is made from sweet, ripe fruit, fruit vegetables, and root crops. These are thoroughly blended with molasses and stored for a short period of time. The third concoction in organic agriculture is the fish amino acid, that is considered as the fast-acting abono. Fish amino acid is made from spoiled fish and fish trash such as bone, head, internal organs, and skin, fermented with molasses. The fourth concoction is the tea manure. This is the micronutrient pack liquid. Tea manure is the resulting tea after soaking partially dried sheep, cow, or horse manure in water for 1 week. We also have the OHN, or the Oriental Herbal Nutrients. This concoction is considered as a natural immune booster. OHN is a mixture of edible, aromatic herbs extracted with alcohol and fermented with brown sugar. It is used to discourage the growth of anaerobic, potentially pathogenic microbes and encourage beneficial aerobic microbes in soil and on plants. Sixth on the list is the calcium phosphate or calphos. This is a concoction made from eggshells, bones, and vinegar that is rich in natural minerals like calcium and phosphorus. We also have the LABS or the lactic acid bacteria serum. This powerful bacteria can be used as tonic for livestock to aid feed efficiencies and eliminate some toxins. It is very effective in cleansing a wide range of foul odors, anaerobic compost, septic tanks, and others. The last concoction in organic agriculture is the indigenous microorganisms or the IMO. This concoction is useful in removing bad odors from animal waste, hastening decomposition, and contributing to crops' general health. You now have an idea about the 8 concoctions involved in organic farming. The first 3 concoctions, which is the fermented plant juice, fermented fruit juice, and the fish amino acid, is considered as the basic concoction. For today's activity, we will focus on the process of producing the fermented plant juice. But before that, let us have a short introduction on what fermented plant juice is. Fermented plant juice, or popularly known as FPJ, is a concoction that is considered best for plants and best for microbes too. FPJ is made from auxiliary buds and young fruits, fast-growing plants, and young leaves of plants. These are mixed with crude sugar or molasses, fermented in 7 days, after which juice is extracted and stored. In choosing of raw materials for FPJ, we must consider the following things. Number 1, choose those that are young and fresh. So usually, it is advisable or recommended to gather materials early in the morning while the plant materials are still fresh. Second, it must be free from insect pests and diseases. The raw materials must also be free from chemical contaminants. Since we are producing organic products, chemical inputs or synthetic chemical must be avoided. The last or the fourth consideration in choosing of raw materials for FPJ is it must be abundant in your area or locality for you to have easy access on the source of the raw materials. In making FPJ, we need the following: the personal protective equipment or the PPE, which includes face mask, disposable gloves, hairnet, and apron. We also need several raw materials such as kangkong, kamote tops, and banana stalk. In making FPJ, plant materials must be at least 3 kinds. And if the kangkong, kamote tops, and banana stalk is not available, You can have alugbati, malunggay, bamboo shoots, and other fast-growing plants. Another raw materials is the molasses. Can be substituted with brown sugar and kinugay. We also need the following tools and materials: basin, plastic pail, chopping board and knife, wooden ladle, nylon screen and stone, marking pen and masking tape, and manila paper or rubber band and string. Before we ended our discussion last time, together with your partner, I assigned you to bring different materials. Did you bring it with you? Okay, I will give you 5 minutes to prepare all your materials and we will proceed with the demonstration. Stay tuned at 88.5 Z Radio. We will be right back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We In Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
Are you now ready for the hands-on? Okay, very good. Before doing the process of fermented plant juice, you must make sure that you already prepared the materials needed in doing the process. Make sure that your workstation or work area is clean. Raw materials to be used are cleaned and free from synthetic chemicals. Tools and materials are free from contamination and are sanitized as well. Making FPJ involves several steps. Step 1. Collect plant materials. Collect the plant materials early in the morning while they are fresh and the microorganisms are still present. The second step is to weigh the raw materials. It is important to weigh the plant materials in consideration of the recommended ratio for FPJ. The recommended ratio is 2:1, which means in every 2 kg of plant materials, it will be mixed with 1 kg of molasses. To simplify the calculation, just add the quantity of your plant materials and divide it by 2. The resulting number would be the quantity or amount of molasses. For today's activity, we have prepared 250 grams of kamote tops, 250 grams of kangkong, and 500 grams of banana stalk. A total of 1,000 gram or 1 kilogram of plant materials. So, we need 500 grams or half kilo molasses to complete the mixture. The third step is to clean and wash plant materials and drain for 5 minutes. You must clean the plant material, especially when you bought it from the market, to remove the synthetic chemicals. If you get your plant materials from the farm, you can skip this step. Since the materials we prepared were cleaned and washed already and drained for 5 minutes, let's proceed to step number 4. Step 4 is to slice to an inch size. After draining, slice the plant material to an inch size for easy extraction of juice. You don't really need to measure it in an exact 1 inch size. Just see to it that it reaches approximately inch size. Just a simple reminder, be careful in using sharp knife to avoid injury. You must do the chopping of plant materials in a careful manner. You can put the chopped materials in the plastic pail to be mixed with molasses later on. Make sure the knife you are using is clean and free from contaminants such as rust and others. A sharp knife is needed to easily cut the plant materials into the desired sizes. Chopping of materials takes most of your time when doing fermented plant juice. We need to cut the plant materials to easily extract the juice and for the materials to be easily covered with molasses. Therefore, will undergo equal fermentation. When you are done chopping, then let's proceed to the next step. The fifth step is to add molasses and mix thoroughly. Since we have 1 kilogram of plant materials, we will add half kilo of molasses to complete the mixture. Using wooden ladle, mix the mixture in one direction only. Mix it properly until all the plant materials were covered with molasses. Molasses is the dark and slightly sweet byproduct of sugar making process. In Compostela, you can buy molasses at 33 pesos per kilo. In the absence of molasses in your locality, you can use alternative products such as brown sugar and kinugay. Molasses is an important ingredient in producing FPJ. It is responsible for the extraction of phytochemicals which can be found in vegetables. Step number 6. Put nylon screen on top of the mixture and put 5 to 8 pieces of stone as sinker. The purpose of this step is to make sure that all plant materials were covered with molasses or soaked with molasses to ensure equal fermentation. If there are plant materials which are not soaked with molasses, there's a possibility that the fermentation is not equal. For step number 7, wipe the mouth of the plastic pail. To remove dirt or excess molasses, that sticks at the side of the pail to avoid contamination. The eighth step is to cover with Manila paper and tie with rubber band or string. Manila paper is used as cover to allow some air to get inside the pail and for the gas that is being produced during the fermentation process to escape. If there's no rubber band available, you can use string to tie the cover. Put markings on the masking tape bearing the following: date of fermentation, date of harvest, quantity of concoction, and kind of concoction. For our output today, the date of fermentation would be 11/23/2020. The date of harvest is 11/30/2020. So the quantity of our FPJ is 1 kilogram. For the 10th step, keep it in a cool, dark room for 7 days for fermentation. Since we started with a clean workstation, after conducting the procedure, clean the workstation again. I will give you 10 minutes to clean your working area.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
So how are you after the demonstration? Did you follow the procedures? We can see if you follow it correctly after 7 days. After 7 days, we will harvest your concoction. That is the time we can identify if we done it correctly or not. So, as we wait for that 7 long days, please get your ballpen and paper for this activity. As an assessment, read each statement carefully. Arrange them into the correct sequence in producing fermented plant juice. Write letter A for the first step, B for the second step, and so on. Write your answer in your paper. Number 1. Keep in a dark, cool room for 7 days. Number 2. Clean and wash plant materials. Drain for 5 minutes. Number 3. Add molasses and mix thoroughly. Number 4. Wipe the mouth of the plastic pail. Number 5. Put markings on the masking tape as label. Number 6. Weigh all the raw materials. Number 7. Slice to an inch size. Number 8. Put nylon screen on top and put 5 to 8 pieces of stone as sinker. Number 9. Cover with Manila paper and tie with rubber band. And number 10. Collect plant materials. The correct answer is for number 1, 10. Number 2, 3. Number 3, 5. Number 4, 7. Number 5, 9. Number 6, 2. Number 7, 4. Number 8, 6. Number 9, 8. And number 10, 1. Did you arrange the steps correctly? Wow! I'm glad to know that you understand the correct procedure in making FPJ. I guess that would be all for today. See you again our next session. This is Teacher Cherise saying thank you and goodbye. Keep safe, everyone.
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee, the School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5, Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan, OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco, School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members: Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldecris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangit, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Daylan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland T. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banyes. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian Anhara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istaniol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
Lingaw.
Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw. Siguradong kuyaw.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian, nagtagatibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigisin, lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na. Brigada Eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada Eskwela, salit na buong barkada. Brigada Eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada Eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada Eskwela, magbayanihan na.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta. Tara, tara. Sige, sige. Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go! Laging handa! Laging handa! Bahatag tuyot, sunog, lindol, bagyo. Mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan. Kaya naman kailangan ng paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Laging handa.
Kalamidad ay maaasahang darating.
Sa di inaasahang oras,
Kaya naman hindi na dapat hintayin. Unahan na habang di pa natataranta.
maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po dyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot pagkain, bungot pang sindi, first aid kit, mga gamit pangligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang duga, meron bang matagdaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit, mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda.
Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipakipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahan. Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Tatag at tibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pabigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salim na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salim na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, magbayanihan na. Sabay-sabayhan na.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Sabay-sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipakipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan ng katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang normal
bagyo, mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan, kaya naman kailangan ng paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Laging handa.
Kalamidad ay maaasahang darating,
Sa di inaasahang oras,
kaya naman hindi na dapat hintayin. Unahan na habang di pa natataranta.
maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka ba nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot, pagkain, kumot, pang sindi, first aid kit, mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang bungka, meron bang madadaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, ganun nga siya'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
We are right back mga kaskwela at muli kayo po ay nakatutok dito lang sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya, only here in 88.5 FM, Z-Radio, siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. Yes, kakatapos lamang po ng presentation ni Ma'am Cherise May A. Asuncion, Teacher 1 from San Miguel National High School. At pinag-usapan natin sa Technical, Vocational, and Livelihood in Agri-Fishery and Arts, ang producing fermented plant juice. Okay. Thank you very much, Ma'am Cherise May Asuncion, sa napakagandang presentation niyo po sa umagang ito. Give it a check, mga kaskwela, alas 12 na, impunto sa udto o kamo, padayon gyapong nagapaminaw, dinhilang sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Yes, mga kaskwela, wala na tay igong oras. Kay, musunod na ako ang partner karon nga murag walay partner, no? Kay siya ang mupuli sa kuha mula alas 12 ng umaga hanggang alas 2 ng hapon. At pag-uusapan ni Teacher JL, kasama niyo po siya maya-maya lamang, ang TVL Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing in Electronics na ibabahagi sa atin ni Sir Brian G. Panimdim, Teacher 1 from Attorney Orlando S. Rimando National High School. At susundan niya ng presentation ni RG Bilandres from Kamanlangan National High School, at pag-uusapan po niya yung Computer System Servicing, Install Operating System, and Drivers Skills Demo 2. Kaya patuloy pa rin po kayong tumutok dito lang sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Muli ito po si Teacher Donna na nagsasabing magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat at sana po ay patuloy at maganda ang inyong Sabado ngayong araw na ito. At maraming salamat po sa pakikinig sa ating first segment dito sa ating programa. At huwag kayong mag-alala dahil makakasama niyo pa rin po ako next week, kami ni Teacher JL sa araw ng Wednesday po. Pero bukas, meron tayong programa pa rin sa Radyo Z-Eskwela. Yun po yung ALS program natin. Dahil araw-araw dito sa Z-Radio, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Kaya hindi na tayo hindi na natin i-prolong ang ating mga chikahan dito. Maraming salamat sa lahat ng mga tumutok sa atin sa ating unang programa. Ito po si Teacher Donna. At sa muli, maraming salamat at dalaygo ng Diyos. Ako ng gilong.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian, nagtagatibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada. Eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salim na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon, sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada. Eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salit na
magsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Muslim, Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin saan patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, isa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay,
Pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Laging handa. Laging handa. Baha, tagtuyot, sunog, lindol, bagyo, mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan, kaya naman kailangan ng paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat, na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat, na maging laging handa.
maging handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa.
Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka ba nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot pagkain, kumot pang sindi, first aid kit, mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang bungka, meron bang madadaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda.
Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat na maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Tatag at tibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigkisin lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na, brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa, sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, magbayanihan na. Magbayanihan na.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. negosyo'y susulong. Kaya, halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Sa magandang tanghali po mga ka-Z-Eskwela, welcome to the second half of Radyo Z-Eskwela. Siguradong masaya. Niyo pong makakasama si Teacher JL hanggang alas 2 ng hapon. At kanina po nakasama niyo po si Teacher Donna mula alas 10 ng umaga hanggang alas 12 ng tanghali. Alright, oras natin mga ka-Z-Eskwela, 16 minutes after 12 o'clock. And today is Saturday. Thank God it's Saturday. I hope you are all doing fine, even though it's a little bit raining outside. Okay, so ngayong hapon na ito, yung tanghali na ito, no? For the second half of our edition for today's Radyo Z-Eskwela, matutunghayan niyo po ang lesson presentation sa TVL Agri-Fishery Arts, producing fermented plant juice. That's TVL Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing Electronics ni Sir Brian G. Panimdim, Teacher 1 of Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. And at 1 o'clock, we will be having Sir R.G. Bilandres, Teacher 1 of Kamanlangan National High School. That's TVL Computer System Servicing, Install Operating System, and Driver Skills Demo 2. Alright, and naka-live po tayo sa ating tatlong Facebook pages. That's Z-Radio 88.5 FM, DepEd Tayo Division of Davao de Oro, and also we have Radyo Z-Eskwela, DepEd Davao de Oro. And meron tayong YouTube channel, Radyo Z-Eskwela DDO. And if you want to text us, 0953-211-3492 are the numbers. Okay, oras natin, 18 after 12 o'clock. And oras na para matuto naman ng bagong kaalaman. Again, that's TVL, Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing Electronics, si Sir Brian G. Panimdim, Teacher 1 of Attorney Orlando S. Remando National High School. Kaya mga Z-Eskwela, tara na, magklase na ta.
Good day, Davao de Oro, and to our listeners, most especially to our Grade 11 TVL learners. Welcome to our presentation for Industrial Arts of Technical Vocational Track. Today, I will present the specialization of Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing. I am Teacher Brian G. Panimdim, your presenter, and Teacher Sheila May Sumaya, your content developer. And we are from Attorney Orlando East Remando National High School, Maco North District, Division of Davao de Oro, the vanguard of excellence. Join me as we explore the world of electronics. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Are you ready, learners? Okay, I believe you are ready now and very prepared for our exciting topic for today. We are now in the fourth week in the Electronic Product Assembly and Servicing, and we will be discussing about mounting, soldering components of a AC, DC, power supply. The objectives of today's lessons are: 1. Identify the parts of AC, DC power supply. 2. Apply all the knowledge and skills and soldering techniques that have been learned. 3. Perform soldering techniques to assemble rectifier circuit of an AC/DC power supply. Please get your modules and listen carefully so that you will be able to follow our discussion. and learn another lesson from our specialization. Are you ready? Very good. I guess everything is all set. And then let's begin. We will be discussing about mounting and soldering components of an AC-DC power supply. You will identify the parts of an AC-DC power supply. Apply all the knowledge and skills in soldering techniques that have been learned and perform soldering techniques to assemble rectifier circuit of an AC-DC power supply. But before we proceed, may I remind you of the following simple rules on how to use your modules. Number 1, use the module with care. Do not put unnecessary marks on any part of the module. Use a separate sheet of paper in answering the exercises. 2. Read the instructions carefully before doing each task. As for this episode, I will be with you as we accomplish some of the tasks in activities for Quarter 1, Module 3 of the subject EPAS. Number 3, observe honesty and integrity in doing the task and checking your answers. Number 4, finish the task at hand before proceeding to the next. Number 5, return this module to your teacher, facilitator, once you are through with it. Looking back to your previous lesson, can you still remember the auxiliary and electronic parts of a power supply in page 58 in your modules? Can you still enumerate it? Wow, good job! You are right. The auxiliary and electronic parts are 1. Transformer, 2. Male plug, 3. Lead indicator, 4. Rotary switch knob, 5. Alligator clip, 6. Rubber hole, 7. The rotary switch, 8. Printed circuit board or the PCB, 9. The fuse holder with fuse, 10. Electrolytic capacitor. Very good, students. What a job well done. And now, let's pause for a break for a few reminders. Don't change frequencies because we will be right back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Maze Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Counselor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
We're back! You are still tuning in to Z-Radio 88.5, Siguradong Kuyaw, Siguradong Lingaw. Moving on, let's proceed to our discussion. In our previous lesson and exercises, we already identified the auxiliary and electronic parts of power supply. Now, kindly please turn your modules on page 59 in all basic electronic tubes. Power supply assembly is the most common application. One of the reasons is that power supply is always present or required in every electronic circuits. In this activity, you are expected to apply all the knowledge and skills in soldering techniques that have been learned. Now, I will demonstrate the procedures on how to mount and solder components of AC-DC power supply. And while listening, you may follow me as long as your materials are available. If not yet available, for the meantime, please observe while I'm doing the demonstration, because you are expected to apply all the knowledge and skills and soldering techniques that you have been learned from today's discussions. Remember, safety first while doing the activity, and I know you can do it.
Procedure in mounting and soldering components of a AC-DC power supply. Number 1 procedure. Prepare all the materials, resources needed. The materials needed are design PCB, soldering lead, 4 pieces rectifier diode, 1N4001, electrolytic capacitor 3300 microfarad by 25 volts, light emitting diode or lead, resistor 1 kilo ohm by 5 watts, schematic diagram of AC-DC bridge type power supply, design of AC-DC bridge type power supply, tools and equipment, soldering tools and pliers or tweezer. Number 2. Clean the terminals of the components to be soldered in the copper side of the PCB. Number 3. Mount, insert the terminals of the components in the PCB. Observe proper connection and polarity in mounting and double check with the design. You must first mount the resistors. After mounting the resistor, you must solder and bind the resistor to the PCB. Then, add the 4 diode. Remember to check the polarity of each rectifier diode. Then, solder it one by one to the PCB. Okay, please remember the safety in installing and soldering any parts of the PCB. After installing the 4 rectifier diodes, you may install the light emitting diode with proper polarity in the PCB. After installing the light emitting diode, you can connect now the electrolytic capacitor. Then, you may solder all the parts, the remaining parts like the electrolytic capacitor, cut the excess terminal of the components. Check the solder and spaces between the solder joints and lines for possible short circuit. Test the circuit using the multi-tester. Observe proper mounting of components according to standard.
Now, we are done in mounting and soldering components of AC/DC power supply. Let's pause for another break and please do not change your channel.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corbada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
And we're back. You are still tuning in to Z-Radio 88.5, Siguradong Kuyaw, Siguradong Lingaw. Let's check if you did the task well. In page 61 of your module, answer self-check 2.1, mounting and soldering components of AC/DC power supply project. Directions. Rate yourself on how competent you have applied the skill in PCB etching using the criteria below by checking on the appropriate box points 1 to 5, 5 being the highest. Compute for the rating by dividing each item by 5, multiplied by 100. Average the rating of the 6 criteria to get the final rating. At this time, we will now have the post-test to assist what you have learned from our lesson today. In your module, page 62, there is a post-assessment that you need to answer comprehensively. Direction. Read the questions carefully and write the answer on your test notebook. Number 1. It is a tool used to join 2 or more metal parts by lead. Again, it is a tool used to join 2 two or more metal parts by length. A. Screwdriver. B. Soldering iron. C. Long nose pliers. D. Multi-tester. And the correct answer is B. Soldering iron. Number 2. A device used to measure voltage, current, and resistance. Again, a device used to measure voltage, current, and resistance. A. Ammeter. B. Long nose pliers. C. Multi-tester. D. Screwdriver. And the answer is C. Multi-tester. Okay, number 3. A type of rectifier circuit which uses 4 diodes. Again, a type of rectifier circuit which uses 4 diodes. A. Half wave. B. Full wave. C. Full wave center tap. D. Full wave bridge. And the answer is D. Full wave bridge. Number 4. In PCB designing, bigger space is required so that heatsink can be installed. What design factor is being considered? Again, in PCB designing, bigger space is required so that the heatsink can be installed. What design factor is being considered? A. PCB size and shape. B. Position of the terminal. C. High temperature dissipation. D. Accessibility of components. E. Space for bolt and nut. And the answer is C. High temperature dissipation. Number 5. The removal of unnecessary portion or layer of a conductive materials of PCB. Again, the removal of unnecessary portion or layer of conductive materials of PCB. A. Boring and drilling. B. Etching. C. Soldering. D. Tracing. The correct answer is B. Etching. Now, check and count the number of the correct answers. Write your score in the upper right portion of the test notebook. Great job, learners! You did it! Since there are many remaining activities to be answered on your modules, in page 62, just take your time and continue answering the rest of the activities. And now, let us check if we hit our objectives for today at the end of this episode. Identify the parts of AC, DC power supply. Apply all the knowledge and skills in soldering techniques that have been learned. Perform soldering techniques to assemble rectifier circuit of an AC/DC power supply. Great job, everyone! Thank you for tuning in and a job well done, everyone! Please don't forget to submit all your outputs during the scheduled retrieval and distribution of your modules. Thank you so much. Once again, this is Teacher Brian G. Paningin, leaving you a quote. Never stop learning because life will never stop teaching. Till next time, bye-bye!
Schools Division Superintendent Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Elbicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medard T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. T. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Clee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Arais.
Sugdata ang adlaw with a smile. Tune in na sa radio, in alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtot, mapapuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka mo adto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na pasilya, Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na pagsibya, Z-Radio. Don't stop. Sa Z-Radio tagaan mong lingaw, kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop. Chillin' mag-tune in sa radio, all day, all night. Diri lang sa Z-Radio. Bisan o ka sa pakapadulong, sa balay man o trabaho. Giving you the best music and everything, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na pasilya, Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na pagsibya, Z-Radio. Kay ang
magsulong sa kinabukasan ng katuon para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, kahirapan kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Muslim, Kristiyano, katutubo, isang hanggarin san patungo. Ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa'yo.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong
Isang
mundo.
alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan sa bawat oras at panahon. Magpakailanman, hangat palagi ng ating paaralan ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat, sabay-sabay, pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face to face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Laging handa. Laging Bahatag tuyot, sunog, lindol, bagyo, mga kalamidad na likas sa ating mundo. Napapahamak ang buhay at kabuhayan, kaya naman kailangan ngang paghandaan.
Maging handa, maging alerto, tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat dapat, na maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat dapat, na maging laging
handa, maging alerto. Tungkulin to ng bawat mamamayan. Kaya tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa.
Suriin mo mabuti ang iyong kapaligiran. Saan ka ba nakatira? Diyan ba ay bumabaha? Tuwing gamot pagkain, kumot pang sindi, first aid kit, mga gamit panligtas ng buhay dapat mabitbit. At sakaling lumindol o sumabog ang bungka, meron bang madadaanan palayo sa kasawian? Panahon na ay malupit at ang hangin hagupit. Mabuti na lang na tayo ay laging nakahanda.
Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa. Tara na, kilos na, lika na, tumulong tayo. Gawin na po ang karapat-dapat nang maging laging handa.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Education with the support of World Vision Development Foundation.
Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Di mo alintana, mga batikos at pangungutya, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Ika'y di sumusuko, lumalaban at nangangako, maihatid pa rin ang serbisyong totoo. Para sa kabataan, ginagawa ang lahat, maibigay lang ang edukasyong karapat-dapat. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Ika'y pinangungunahan ng isang superwoman. Walang iba, Madam Leonor Briones lang naman. Sa ngalan ng serbisyo, dedikasyon sa trabaho, pagmamahal ng isang ina, nararamdaman ko. Ikaw ang humuhubog sa aming kinabukasan, laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng kabataan. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, Saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Magbayanihan na, magbayanihan na, bayanihan, pagtutulungan, walang kupas na kaugalian. Tatag at tibay, sinasabuhay, galak sa puso ay walang kapantay. Panahon na naman ang brigada, pagbigkisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Ikaw ako, tayong lahat, hawak kamay, sabay-sabay, kapit-bisig, buong bayan. Tara na, kumilos na. Tulong-tulong sa pagsulong, hatid na kalidad sa edukasyon. Sa kabataan, saya at dunong, buong madla sabay na aahon. Panahon na naman ng brigada, pagbigisin lakas at diwa. Tara na brigada na, brigada, eskwela, magkaisa sama-sama. Brigada, eskwela, salin na buong barkada. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, eskwela, kilos na, magbayanihan na. Brigada, magbayanihan na. Sabay-sabayhan na.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Tingog Party List, Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply,
Mabanglo Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply,
GB Construction and Supply, Kanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corvada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, Re-Ing Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Bertodazo,
Apex Mining Company Incorporated,
and Icon Builders and Supply.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Good day, Davao de Oro, and to all Z-Eskwela listeners, especially to the grade 12 CSS students who are listening to us right now, on their radios at home, and joining with us with our Facebook Live. I am your teacher presenter, RJ Belandres, from Kamanlagan National High School. Good day, CSS Senior High School students. We are on air at 88.5 Z Radio. How are you doing today? Wow, you are all doing great. That's good to know. Join me as we will be together for 1 hour. So ready yourself for today's radio-based instruction. Alright, please find a suitable area and make yourself comfortable. Before we begin with our new topic, let us first have a quick review of the previous lesson. In our previous lesson, you have learned and understand the basic tools, equipment, testing devices, and OHSP. For computer tools, you have a Phillips screwdriver, flat head screwdriver, and long nose plier. For computer equipment, we have sets of PC, printer, and a modem. What about testing devices? Very good! That's right! For testing devices, we have multimeter or multi-tester, screwdriver tester, and LAN tester. You have also learned the OHS policies and procedures. Am I right? Very good! That concludes the following. We have A. Read and follow manufacturer manual. B. Turn off or unplug the computer before servicing the system unit. C. Remove any metal objects in your arms or in your fingers to avoid electric shock. D. Use magnetic screwdriver for electronic safety. E. Hold the electronic devices properly. F. Use anti-static mat. G. Take away any liquid like juices, water, or soft drinks in your working area or in your workplace. H. Use personal protective equipment in accordance to the job requirement. I. Use anti-static device. J. Make sure that the pins and other wires are properly aligned or connected. Well now, I guess you are ready for today's discussion and demonstration. We'll discuss with you LO3 of Install and Configure Computer System Competency, which is install operating system and drivers for peripherals. For this discussion and demonstration, you will need a set of PC or laptop computer. Of course, the most important device a bootable Windows operating system flash drive or pen drive. We hope that at the end of this session, you will be able to, number one, understand and configure BIOS setup, and two, install Windows operating system and drivers. Are you ready for today's discussion and demonstration? Great! Keep this in mind that all files in your local disk C, including your desktop, documents, and download folder will be erased. So make a clear decision as to what computer you will be using. Again, to install operating system like Windows 7, 8, or 10 using pen drive or flash drive, you will need a bootable Windows operating system or a bootable Windows flash drive, which I hope you have it in your hands right now. And of course, a set of PC or computer to be working with. In doing so, please observe the minimum safety requirements or the system requirements in installing the operating system in your computer. For Windows 7, we have the minimum requirements for processor at least 1 gigahertz of CPU and 1 gigabyte of RAM. Again, for Windows 7 installation, you will need a minimum requirement for processor is at least 1 gigahertz and 1 gigabyte of RAM. For Windows 10, you must have at least 1 or 2 gigahertz of CPU and 2 gigahertz of RAM. But it is recommended to use 2 gigahertz CPU speed of your processor to install Windows 10. So, let's get started. I will give you 1 minute to prepare your computer. Now, I guess you're ready, so sit back and follow my command. Now, insert your flash drive in the USB port, turn on the monitor and the system unit by pressing its power button. The system unit, it is located at the front panel area. For the monitor, the power button is in the right bottom corner of your screen. Now, press that button. After turning on the PC, press Del or Delete key on keyboard for multiple times until BIOS setup appears. Again, press Del or Delete key on your keyboard to enter BIOS setup. Pause for a while as you will see BIOS menu. Now, let us first examine and understand some important BIOS setup utility. In your BIOS setup, you will find a multiple tab like the main, the Advanced tab, the Power, Authentication, Security, Boot, Option, and Exit tab. In the Main tab, you will find the version of your BIOS, the date, the time, the memory, and the CPU speed. Also, you will find product name and the serial number. Advanced tab, you will find a sub-tab like Miscellaneous, in which gives you the details of your hard disk and optical drive. Advanced chipset allows user to change video memory size. Integrated peripherals allows user to control onboard devices which can be enabled or disabled. PC health status. This gives you an overview of your system temperature. Power tab allows user to change power mode, but please bear in mind that it will cause damages or it will cause damage to your hardware device if you misconfigure this setting. So, let's keep it in its default setting. Authentication tab, a security feature to prevent unintended installation or reinstallation of incompatible version of operating system. Security tab. This gives ownership of BIOS and have supervisor control or user control. Boot options allows individual to prioritize boot order. This part is the most important tab when it comes to operating system installation. In this tab, we have the first boot, the second, third, and the fourth boot device. First boot device means during post or power on self-test, the first boot device will be read first. Hard disk priority tab allows user to choose between two or more bootable device. Boot menu allows user to override boot order. Exit tab. Save and exit. Exit system set up after saving changes. Discard changes and exit setup. Exit system setup without saving any changes. Alright, stay tuned and we will be right back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corbada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I'm back, learners. Let's continue. Now, let us customize your BIOS to install operating system. First, insert your flash drive to the USB port. Second, turn on the monitor and your system unit. After turning on the PC, immediately press Del or Delete key on your keyboard multiple times until BIOS Setup utility appear. Again, press Del or Delete key to to enter BIOS setup. So I guess you are now in your BIOS setup. Follow me. Go to Authentication tab. Now, press arrow down on your keyboard. Select Secure tab. Hit Enter on your keyboard. Arrow up and press Enter. Now, go to Boot Option tab by pressing the forward arrow on your keyboard. After that, press arrow down and select CSN. Hit Enter on your keyboard and select Always. I hope you're following. Now, go to Boot Menu tab, hit Enter and select Enable. This allows user to bypass BIOS setup and prompt directly to BIOS or boot drive option. So before you proceed to the last step in configuring your BIOS, let me remind you to press F12. Again, press F12 after PC restarts so you can select the bootable flash drive to begin our installation. Okay, let's proceed. Now, go to Exit tab. Press the forward arrow on your keyboard. Hit arrow down and select Save and Exit Setup. Computer now restart. Again, press F12 multiple times on your keyboard. Have you seen your flash drive? Now, select your bootable flash drive. In my example, I have SanDisk. So if you're using a Kingston flash drive, select that flash drive by hitting the arrow down on your keyboard. Press Enter and press any key to begin installation. Let's wait. Now, computer appears and will give you a dialog box. Click Next. Click Install Now and wait for computer to respond. Now, enter the license key or the serial key of your product. Or you can click Skip for later configuration. In the dialog box, click and select Windows 10 and click Next. Choose Windows 10 Professional and click Next. Read the license term. If you understand the license term, then click the box I accept the license term. Click Next and click Custom Install or Install Windows Only. I hope you start following. Now, we will perform a clean installation and reprogram your PC and divide the hard drive capacity into two partitions. For local disk C, capacity will be 200 gigabytes. Local disk D will be the remaining partition. So, if you have 1 terabyte, the remaining capacity for local disk D will be 800 gigabytes. To do this, first, we will have to remove all partitions, followed by creating new partition, formatting the hard drive, and installing the operating system in your C drive. Now, listen carefully to the instruction. To remove the partition, follow me. Highlight the partition by clicking on it. Example, partition 1. Click the partition 1 and click delete. Again, click partition 1 and click delete. Message appears and it says, this partition might contain important files or application from your computer manufacturer. If you delete this partition, any data stored in it will be lost. So since this is a clean installation, just click OK to delete the partition. And it says, partition becomes an allocated space, meaning the partition is now deleted. Next, we must delete all partitions before creating a new one. Now, follow me. Highlight again the partition by clicking on it and click delete. Example, partition 1 or partition 2. Message box appears again. Just click OK. Do the same procedure to remove all partitions. Stop only until you see disk drive 0 partition or with an allocated space. So I will give you 30 seconds to perform the task and delete all partitions. Time starts now. Okay, I guess you are done deleting all partitions. Now, let's create a new partition. To do this, click New. Click the size box number and erase all numbers using backspace on your keyboard. Since our objective is 200 GB, type 200,000 in figures on your keyboard for 200 gigabytes. After typing the amount to your local disk C, click Apply. Message box appears. Just click OK to continue. Note, the first partition that you created is intended for local disk C. So after hitting Apply and OK, it creates new partition and it creates two partitions, a system reserve and a partition 2 for your local disk C drive. Now, we still have an allocated space. So, again, follow me. Highlight your drive by clicking it on your mouse. Click New and click Apply. This setting allows us to use the rest of the remaining capacity in our drive D. So if you wish to create multiple partitions, you can divide the capacity. So as of now, let us give it to local disk D. Format your D drive or your partition tree by highlighting and clicking the partition. Click Format, click OK, and wait to load. Now, to install the operating system, highlight the partition 2 by clicking on it on your mouse and click Next. OS now begin its installation. Wait for it, for Windows will copy and install its file, its features and updates, and so on. This takes a couple of minutes depending on your computer. So let's wait until computer restarts. Do not press anything so installation will continue. Setting up is getting ready. Now type the license product key. Now click the username box and type the PC name. Example, RG2020. Click Next. Windows will load and set up your computer. Setup complete. Done. Congratulations! You are now done installing Windows operating system. Very good. Now follow me. How to install device driver. In my example, I am using an optical media for my driver. So open your PC icon or this PC icon. Right click on your optical drive. Click Install or Run Program for your media. Click Yes. Click Drivers. Click Install. As easy as that. Installation now begins. Install driver finished. Please reboot the system and restart your PC. To check if you're properly installed the device driver, open your device manager. To do this, right-click this PC icon, click Manage, and click Device Manager. Check the following: display adapter for video, network adapter for Ethernet, sound and game controller for audio. Note, there should be no yellow mark on your device manager. The yellow mark means the driver was not properly installed. For manual installation, just open the file. Example, you downloaded the driver over the internet. Open the file. In my example, I have Realtek for LAN driver or my Ethernet driver. Open the folder and choose what operating system you are using. Example, I have Windows 10, so open that, right click and click Install, and it's done. As simple as that. Congratulations! Thank you, and we're done. Okay, let us have a short quiz. Now, prepare a 1/4 sheet of paper or any clean sheet of paper and let us check your understanding. Question number 1. What is the minimum CPU requirement in installing Windows 7 operating system? Again, number 1. What is the minimum CPU requirement in installing Windows 7 operating system? A. 500 megahertz. B. 700 megahertz. Or C. 1 gigahertz. And D. 3.7 gigahertz. Again, A. 500 megahertz. B. 700 megahertz. C. 1 gigahertz. And D. 3.7 gigahertz. Stay tuned and we will be right back.
The Radyo Z-Eskwela program of the Division of Davao de Oro is being brought to you by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated, Maverick Builders Incorporated, Mitch Construction and Supply, Archicons Architectural Construction and Supply, DB Construction and Supply, Hanaway Builders Corporation, Phoenix Corbada Tagum Gasoline Station, Master Construction and Supplies, Mackenzie Builders, GP&H Construction Incorporated, Metro Gear Construction Corporation, NEN Builders and Development Services Corporation, Max Mays Enterprises Incorporated, We Inc. Construction Company, Rangay Construction and Supply, East Sussex Enterprise, WM Construction, Councilor Boogie and Miss Marjorie Vertodazo, Icon Builders and Supply, and Apex Mining Company Incorporated.
I'm back, learners. Let's continue. Question number 2. BIOS. BIOS means letter A, basic input output storage. B, basic input output setup. C, basic input output system. Or D, basic input output security. Again, question number 2. BIOS means A, basic input output storage. B, basic input output setup. C, basic input output system. Or D, basic input output security. Number 3, what is the minimum CPU requirement in installing Windows 10? Again, what is the minimum CPU requirement in installing Windows 10 OS? Letter A, 500 megahertz. B, 700 megahertz. C, 1 gigahertz. Or D, 3.7 gigahertz. Again, A, 500 megahertz. B, 700 megahertz. C, 1 gigahertz. Or D, 3.7 gigahertz. Number 4. It is a command or keys in your keyboard that allows user to open BIOS setup. Again, it is a command or key in a keyboard that allows user to open BIOS setup. Letter A, F12. B, F11. C, Control-Alt-Delete. Or D, F2 or Delete key. Again, letter A, F12. B, F11. C, Control-Alt-Delete. Or D, F2 or Delete key. 5. What is the minimum RAM requirement in installing Windows 7? Again, what is the minimum requirement in installing Windows 7? 1, 128 megabyte. B, 256 megabytes. C, 1 gigabytes. Or D, 4 gigabytes. Again, what is the minimum requirement, the RAM requirement in installing Windows 7? A, 128 megabytes. B, 256 megabytes. C, 1 gigabyte. Or D, 4 gigabytes. Let us check your work. Number 1, letter C. Number 2, letter C. 3, letter C. 4, letter D. 5, letter C. Who among you got perfect? Very good. How about those students who got low passing score? Good. Nothing to worry about. We have still plenty of quizzes in the next preceding topics. Once again, congratulations. You can put your comments, suggestions, and questions on our Facebook page. See you in the next session. I am teacher RJ Belandres from Kamanlangan National High School for Class on the Air in Grade 12 CSS NC2. Bye-bye!
Radyo Z-Eskwela Executive Committee. The School's Division Superintendent, Eufemia T. Gamutin Seso 5. Assistant Schools Division Superintendent, Dr. Romel R. Handayan. OIC Curriculum Implementation Division Chief, Karina S. Frasco. School Governance and Operations Division Chief, Dr. Ruben J. Riponte. Members, Cecilia Morales, Dr. Hilda A. Opeña, Dr. Arlene B. Lim, Dr. Eldicris B. Calzadora, Dr. Dexter A. Siquinia, Nohara O. Pinute, Noemi P. Canales, Dr. Grace D. Pontillas, Virgilito C. Pabrices, Juanito Lapiceros, Engineer Norberto S. Manlangi, Jomar M. Dumupoy, Bob Dalan S. Milabat, Medar T. Ampit, and Paz Eugenia Villusino. Technical Working Committee, Productions and Communications, Lorely E. Quijano, Given G. Hinampas, Judyland D. Yu, Donna D. D. Bolifer, Mary Rose N. Resma, Riven Manuel, Irene Lea C. Manguhon, and Bessie Aya N. Banias. Social Media and Packaging Team, Christian and Hara L. Martesio, William R. Ranara, Joan T. Iscoton, Roberto S. Acusar Jr., May B. Istanyol, Richard H. Arellano, Lee L. S. Blanco, Ralph A. Tabanyag, Angelo Gutierrez Jr., and Jade Karen Araiz.
With a smile, tuning as a radio, been alive. Listen na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, may papuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka mo adto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon nga probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon nga pasilya, Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon nga probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon nga pagsibya, Z-Radio. Don't stop sa Z-Radio, tagaan mong lingaw. Kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop. Chillin' while tune in sa radio. All day, all night, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Bisan o gas sa pakapadulong, sa balay man o trabaho. Giving you the best music and everything, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kahit ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon nga probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon nga pasilya, Z-Radio.
Ang buhing grasya, ang pulong sa Dios, mao ang pagkaon sa atong kalag. Ang buhing grasya, duyog, paminaw ug apil sa Santos nga misa kada Sabado, alas 6 hangtod alas 7:30 sa gabi, diri lang sa Z Radio 88.5. Mga legal nga hisgutanan, Panyero de Oro, tagaan ug pagtagad sa programang Panyero de Oro. Paminaw kada Miyerkules alas 8 hangtod alas 9 sa buntag. Panyero de Oro, dili lamang sa Z Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw.
You got it.
Panyero de Oro. Ang programang maghatod og good vibes ug mga inspirasyon sa matag pamilya, kauban si Mari Vice Governor Maricar Zamora. Saire Mare, paminaw kada Martes alas 8 hangtod alas 10 sa buntag. Saire Mare sa Z Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw, siguradong kuyaw. Saire Mare.
Sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipakipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan ng katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan. Handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangan saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Di mo alintana mga batikos at pangungutya, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ng pandemya. Ika'y di sumusuko, lumalaban at nangangako, maihatid pa rin ang serbisyong totoo. Para sa kabataan, ginagawa ang lahat, maibigay lang ang edukasyong karapat-dapat. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Ika'y pinangungunahan ng isang superwoman, walang iba, Madam Leonor Briones lang naman. Sa ngalan ng serbisyo, dedikasyon sa trabaho, pagmamahal ng isang ina, nararamdaman ko. Ikaw ang humuhubog sa aming kinabukasan, laging inuuna ang kapakanan ng kabataan. Kaya't ang awit kong ito ialay ko sa'yo. Deped ako'y saludo sa'yo sa katapatan mo sa Pilipino. Ngayong kaarawan mo, tanggapin mo ang pagpupugay ko. O deped ako'y saludo sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo. Saludo, saludo, saludo ako sa'yo.
Hoy, tara, magklase na ta! Tara, tara! Sige, sige! Let's go!
Kunin na ang radyo, hanapin ang Z-Radio. Halika na at makinig, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhan bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela. Umulan man umaraw, edukasyo'y susulong. Kaya halika na, mag-aaral tayo! Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, makinig, matuto. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, may matutuhang bago. Sa Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya. Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Handog ng DepEd Davao de Oro, Radyo Z-Eskwela, siguradong masaya!
Let's go!
Nagasidya gikan sa Bulawan, probinsya sa Davao de Oro. Kini ang ang Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
88.5 Z Radio.
This is Z Radio 88.5.
Z-Radio 88.5. Siguradong lingaw. Siguradong kuyaw.
Right, give it a check, mga ka-Z-Eskwela. 2 minutes before hitting the hour of 2 o'clock this afternoon. Time check is brought to us by Nueda Builders Construction and Supply Incorporated. Also brought to us by Metro Gear Construction Corporation. Ito pa rin po as Teacher JL. Kasama nyo. And you have already watched and viewed and listened to the lesson presentation of Sir R.G. Bilandres, Teacher 1 of Kamanlangan National High School. That's TVL Computer System Servicing Install Operating System and Driver Skills Demo 2. Right. Congratulations po sa ating mga lesson presenters today. Mula kay Sir Michael Leones, Sir Brian G. Panimdim, ng Cherise May Asuncion, and Sir R.G. Bilandres. And salamat sa inyong time na gihatag para ma-prepare ang atong mga lesson presentations today. And by the way, meron akong kasama dito sa station natin, si Sir Chadi. Sir Chadi is going to promote our tawag niyan, YouTube channel. Sir Chadi, hello.
Hello, sir, and hello sa mga listeners karong adlaw.
Right, do you want to promote syempre atong YouTube channel kasi ang alam ko naka-update na tayo lahat, no? Uploaded na lahat yung mga videos natin courtesy of Sir William. Go ahead.
So, sa mga teachers o sa mga students na who would like to review sa quarter 1 ng mga presentation, pwede ninyo ma-visit ang mga previous episodes sa youtube.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela. Again, pwede ninyo review ang quarter 1 ng mga presentation sa youtube.com/Radyo Z-Eskwela.
Right. Sir Chadi, do you have reminders atong mga umaabot na mga lesson presenters, atong content presenters o creative resource material developers kay February na pod, Sir Chadi?
Shoutout din ay sa mga presenters na please do submit your presentation or your raw materials in advance para ma-edit pa na mo siya. And don't forget to send it at ddo.radiotvbi@gmail.com.
Okay. Napakailaing reminders, Sir Chadi, or basig na kay gusto i-greet bago ta mo say goodbye sa tanan?
Greet din ako ang mga students, high students, at sa mga kauban sa Nabunja National Comprehensive High School. Hello po kay Sir sa mong principal na si Sir Dato Edgardo D. Masambo and OIC Assistant School Principal na si Ma'am Neng Belusino. And hello, Ate Bing, and si Sir Romel. Hi, Sir Romel. Hi.
Alright, dagang salamat, Sir Chadi. O kamo gyapon pa na minaw sa 88.5 FM Z Radio, Siguradong Lingaw.
Siguradong kuyaw.
Oh, di ba? Out ni Sir Chadi. Okay, dagang salamat sa iyong pag-uban-uban kanamo gikan as just sa buntag hantod karong taknaa. Sa ngalan sa tanang nagalihok sa luyo sa atong programa, kinis Teacher JL mag-say goodbye na og dalaygon ng Dios hantod sunod higayon.
Sugata ang adlaw with a smile. Tune in na sa radio, in alive. Bisan na sa man good, listen to the music and it feels so good. Ay gundang ihangtod, may papuntagan pero lingaw man pod. Sa balay man o trabaho, bisan na sa man ka mo adto. Giving you the best music, diri lang sa Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Z-Radio. Sa Bulawanon na pasilya, Z-Radio. Kay ang adlaw siguradong lingaw, dili magpaulahi kay siguradong tuyaw. Para sa Bulawanon na probinsya, Sa Z-Radio, tagaan mo glingaw kay giving you the best music and everything, that's what make us proud. So turn your radio up, don't stop, tune mo tune in sa radio. All day, all night, dito lang sa Z-Radio. Isang ugas sa pakapadudong, sa balay